Okay, everybody, as I always do, I'm gonna try not to waste your time. Today, I'm here to talk about Stray. And I will not spoil anything for you, no major plot points or reveals or anything, okay? Now, if you don't know, Stray is a new game by BlueTwelve Studio where you play as a cat in some sort of post-apocalyptic dystopian future inhabited by robots. And I don't think BlueTwelve has made any other games, at least I couldn't find anything else that they've developed, but even if they did develop something else, this is clearly their first substantial look. Now, let's sort of get into this. So listen, Stray has reviewed very highly from a number of different reviewers and publications. They're giving it 8s and 9s and even perfect scores. I know I sound like a hater or whatever, but this is because people just like cats. I am indifferent towards cats. They don't do anything for me. I don't care. They don't disgust me. They don't bring me joy. They just exist. So personally, I'm not gonna feel like a game is a 10 out of 10 because a cat does a cat-like thing in a game. I'm here to actually look at the game and judge it in comparison to its competition, how well it executes its own ideas, and if those ideas come together well enough to form something worthwhile. Okay? Alright, let's really get into this. So I'll start off by saying Stray is a very short game. Even doing some exploring, a fair share of lollygagging and stupid cat activities, I still finished the game in just under 5 hours, about 4 hours and 40 something minutes. The short runtime works in its favor though, because honestly, this game has no business being any longer. They very obviously shot their load and played their whole hand by the end of this. So it's good that they don't really overstay their welcome. Now, like I said, they've played their whole hand by the end of it, but it's almost like the cards don't even start getting dealt until about an hour and a half in. You know, for a while I was just thinking, okay, is this it? Can we get the ball rolling, or is this all this game is gonna do? And an hour and a half really wouldn't be a horrible start time usually, but that's in longer games. In a game where that's more than a fifth of your runtime, that hour and a half of boredom really stuck with me. Even the mystique of the narrative is paced a little too slowly. Like, I'm telling you, that whole first hour and a half to some degree feels like BlueTwelve overestimated how intriguing or entrancing this game was in those moments. I think maybe it's because I'm supposed to be mesmerized by the fact that I'm a cat, but it's just a cat. I know what a cat is. They don't intrigue me. I know what fucking cats do. So I think that I'm supposed to be really entertained by the fact that I can scratch at a carpet or scratch at a tree or knock something off a shelf or take a random nap, but it's just all mundane, useless cat stuff. In the context of a video game, things should be earned or provide some benefit. These things don't do either. You don't get to watch your cat take a nap after completing a puzzle or something. Or on the other end, you don't gain a speed boost or something from taking a nap. There's just a lot of genuinely useless stuff that the developers are clearly nudging you about, going, did you see that? We get some points for that, right? No, you don't. It's nothing. Like, it's fine that it's there, but it's the being on display all throughout the game. Like, the devs very obviously think you should be impressed with something that isn't all that impressive. In fact, it's not impressive at all. But once you're outside of the first couple of opening chapters and some cards start getting dealt, the game can become a fairly decent experience. When they start introducing some puzzles that don't just put the answer directly in your hand, the game is all the better for it. No puzzle in this game is gonna have you scratching your head, but early on you're basically solving puzzles in a coma, so it's refreshing to use your brain even if it's only a little bit. Like, truly the game almost doesn't start until chapter 3. Everything starts moving the way it should. The mystery of the world actually starts to re-grab your attention, and I say re-grab because I think the world has our attention going in, but the slow, dragging, uninteresting nature of the opening hour or so does so much to diminish it. But it's chapter 3 to the rescue. And actually, I'm saying chapter 3, but I mean memory 3. The game's broken up into collecting 5 core memories, and I'm talking about the point after getting the first 2, just to clarify. But yeah, the third part is really where everything gets into motion. There's even a part that's kind of freaky, might unease you a little bit, but like in a good way, because it refocuses you and makes you more engaged with the game. And it adds a layer of world building. And when it comes to world building, this game is quite good at it. And maybe even just as important, they're concise about it. Nothing is given to you in long, drawn out dialogue sections where you're just reading and reading and reading. And it's not this big old convoluted, connected, infinite dots bullshit. They do a lot with a little, and it's very digestible, but no less meaningful, you know? And what I'm about to say might qualify as a very, 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 very minor spoiler, but I found it very refreshing that the robots don't absolutely abhor the human race in this. Whenever they speak about humans, it's not with this Terminator revolutionist, the machines rose up type of disdain. And you know, I thought that was great. It's wild how little we see that. But yeah, moving forward. So this game's execution of gameplay ideas is mostly fine. The thing is, there is nothing new here. The puzzles are mostly low tier puzzles when compared to almost anything else with puzzles. They introduce stealthing very late in the game. It's serviceable, but nothing outstanding is going on here. I'm not kidding when I say this game bets the whole fucking house on the fact that you are a cat. And it's a good bet because they're getting great reviews because people like cats. But in reality, where I live, this isn't a great game, some amazing 10 out of 10 must play. It's a solid effort that would probably be expected of a dev team's first big project. There is a thin line between being a chill experience and being a mind-numbingly dull one, and all too often Stray is on the wrong side of that line. And while about 70% of the time its world and narrative are up to snuff, Stray's gameplay leaves a lot to be desired and can often have you asleep at the wheel. They probably should have focused all of the gameplay around stealth and tried to come up with some fun and original stealth ideas that incorporate the fact that you're a cat. But alas, most of the gameplay is automated platforming. If I had to put a number on it, I'm thinking this is about a 6 out of 10, you know, solid, worth a try, and it's priced pretty inoffensively at $30. And I know, at least in America, school taught you that 6 out of 10 or 60% is bad and it's a failure. It's not. Like I said, 6, it's solid, worth a try if you think you might be interested. Even in the case of a 5, that's okay. That's doing just enough. If I say anything is lower than a 5, that means I don't think it's worth playing and I think it's bad. You know, just some insight into my scoring process, I guess. Oh, and by the way, if you are a big old cat person and you just love cats and you consume everything having to do with them, then this is the wrong video for you. By all means, ignore me. In fact, everyone, feel free to ignore me. This has just been my personal opinion on Stray. Feel free to tell me what you think. Feel free to tell me how stupid and wrong I am in the comments, but don't tell others how stupid and wrong they are. Just direct your hatred at me. I can handle it and I'll more than likely ignore it. But until next time, I am Waifu Belector. I am just a normal guy. I like hentai and I am not a cat lady. Goodbye.